Hello, I'm Kenesha L. Davey, the Associate Director of the DC Creative Affairs Office. Welcome to our Care for Creatives community conversation featuring Dr. Mary DeRaedt and John Avery as they discuss the relationship between joy, music, and mental health. After watching this episode, head over to creativeaffairsdc.com to learn more about our Care for Creatives program. Through our partnership with the George Washington University, we are able to provide pay what you can mental health services to local creatives.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mary DeRaedt, and I'd like to welcome you to today's Care for Creatives Community Conversations. Community conversations are just one part of the Care for Creatives program. This program, in tandem with the George Washington University Counseling Department, also makes available to any member of the creative and entrepreneurial community short-term or longer-term pay what you can counseling. One of our main goals is to reduce some of the barriers to mental health support and make sure that anyone who wants counseling at all can have access to counseling. There currently are available spaces at the Boggy Bottom Community Counseling Services Center, so please feel free to reach out. So today's conversation is about joy. And I am so excited to talk today to John Avery about this topic and just have an enjoyable conversation. John, welcome. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about you and the work that you do?
Thank you, Dr. Mary. I am the supervisory production manager at the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment. That means I do a lot of stuff. Let's see. I schedule the field crew, which is the camera guys, to go out and cover the mayor's press conferences and the council's events, as well as other stuff. I am the studio manager who makes sure that things in the studio run well, that sets are done. And I'm also the lighting director of the studio. And we have won 2 Emmys for lighting. That's because we got a great staff here and everything looks right. And I'm also, and this is my personal joy, I'm also the host of DC Radio's Rating the Crates on DC Radio. It's a non-genre music show I do every week, and I get to look at and do different genres every week, and that really brings me joy in my work.
I can imagine just being able to sit in all that music and enjoy sounds like amazing.
It is. I have over 7,000 albums, about 10,000 CDs, about 6,100 songs on my computer that I go through every week for when I pick out the different genres. I search the songs that I want to tell a story with, and then I do the research on the artist and the songs, and it just gives me total happiness.
It's really amazing to hear you talk about all of the music, and it's just reminding me of the topic that we are here today to discuss. The topic of joy is so relevant, right, to this season, to this human experience that we all bring to the season. And I'm just sitting here listening to you going, you seem to be the exact right person for me to be talking to about joy.
I know this is a season where everybody is hustling and bustling and trying to get presents and trying to cook dinner and trying to make other people happy. And I get involved in that too. I get involved in all that craziness about, having to make sure everything is right for the holiday. But sometimes I have to stop and say, look, man, you have to enjoy the season also. And enjoying the season means you have to slow down, sit at, even if it's at midnight with the Christmas tree on, and just sit and listen to some old classic Nat King Cole or Frank Sinatra, who was one of my favorites, or, something that's soothing to you, and just enjoy what the season is about. We forget that so much. We're so pushed and rushed to do all this stuff, and we forget what we really should be doing on the season is just enjoying and passing along enjoyment to other people.
Absolutely. I think what you're saying is this idea that we need to actually take the joy that is there in the season. And I think we get so distracted with trying to create that joy, maybe, that we're bustling, we're hustling, we're trying to get so much done as if we have to do a bunch of work to get joy. We have to create just the right environment to make joy happen. And I don't know, maybe you disagree with me, but I don't think we have to do a lot of work to make joy happen.
We don't have to do it. And that's what I see. I'm talking all this stuff, and I have to tell myself the same thing because I'm rushing to find the right Christmas present, the right toy, or the right, we were just finished doing a Christmas show here. I'm rushing to make sure that Christmas show is done well, and you forget that you don't find any of the joy in what you're doing because you have worked so hard to create a situation, and you have to step back and just say, look, I have to slow down. And I have to tell myself this because for me, joy, for me personally, is at work. I love to work. I don't know if I'll ever retire because if I just sit, I will go crazy. So I have to work, but I have to tell myself when I'm working, and because I'm a grumpy person too. I mean, I'm joyful.
Not you.
Everybody knows me as Mr. Grump, and I can give that all day long. But I have to pull back sometimes and going, John, just think about this. Stop. Just stop. Stop all the stuff in your head. Stop watching the news. Just sit back and sit in the silence and just enjoy the silence and the songs and the jingle bells. And I mean, the Christmas movies. I mean, come on. A Christmas Carol from 1951. And then A Christmas Story with the one that comes on every year. And then It's a Wonderful Life. Those are fantastic explanations for what Christmas is about, but yet we don't follow that anymore. I mean, we just don't, and we have to center ourselves and go back to the simple things about this season. $100 gifts and $200 gifts, that kind of has to stop. We have to go back and enjoy just being around family, having a meal together, listening to Donny Hathaway's This Christmas together. It's just, we have to start doing that again because we have taken Christmas into something so commercial that it's just not enjoyable for a lot of people anymore.
Yeah, there's so much pressure on it to be something that it doesn't need to have. And I think one of the definitions of joy that I saw was gladness not based on circumstances.
Yeah.
And yet when we think about joy associated with this holiday or with the season or in our day-to-day life, it seems like it's always has to be associated with a circumstance. And I think from my perspective, happiness is a little more circumstance-based. Mm-hmm. We can find a moment of happiness here, a little bit of happiness there. Joy is that sense of seeking out the good. And from my perspective, it's looking at every situation that we're coming up on. And what you were just talking about the bells and the music and all of that, it's like looking at those things as good things, as positive things, and enjoying them creates kind of an underlying sense of joy over time. And a lot of classic music and most Christmas music is really focused on a positive outlook for the future, on happiness in the future, on what is to come, whether it's religious or secular, however, you're taking it in, there are good things to come. Mm-hmm. And music, when we listen to it, it's a documented scientific fact that when you listen to music, it impacts you on an unconscious level.
Yes.
It impacts your mood. It impacts your heart rate. It impacts your brain waves. And so we should actually be careful and conscious in our choices of music in terms even just of our mental health. It's why we all listen to sad songs when we're in a breakup. Yes. And we listen to, happy songs. It impacts your heart rate. It impacts all of that stuff.
When I was a kid, I was, deemed not regular because I would easily listen to, at the time, let's say Earth, Wind, and Fire, and then turn around and turn on the Rolling Stones, or listen to one of my favorites, Loretta Lynn. I just enjoyed the differences. I just wanted I like to be different. I like to hear different stuff. It was very important to me to be washed and amassed with music around me that experienced it. I mean, that gave me different experiences. Mm-hmm. I never wanted to be in the same thing. And I wanted to tell people that you, wherever you are in your life, in your situation, look to music to bring you up. Look to music to give you hope. Look to music to give you choices. Look for music to just and embrace yourself. Music can do all that stuff, but you have to find the right music to do that. You have to search it out. You may not know a song by, let's say, for instance, a new artist. Mickey Guyton is a country artist, new girl artist, a Black artist.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. You might not know that, but just go and just listen to her. She's not much different from Whitney Houston. You see, as I'm saying, just because she's country and has a twang guitar, listen to her sing. It's not much different from Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to John Legend is to me is one of the better of the new voice artists.
Yeah.
Listen to his passion. Listen to how he can sing like Vic Damone and Nat King Cole, and he can sing like today's song. He's just an amazing artist. Listen to these people that can give hope and happiness and give you a sense of future. I got to get to people. You got to say, wherever you're sitting at and what you're sitting in, music can take you out of that. You got to look forward to the future. You can't just sit and wallow in whatever sadness that you're in. It's okay to tap sadness for a minute. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to listen to songs like Alone Again Naturally by Gilbert O'Sullivan because I felt like I was alone, or Eric Carmen's All by Myself, or America's This Is for the Lonely People, because I felt like as a teenager, I was so isolated. Those were my songs. Those songs were me. But those songs only lasted for a few seconds. And then I had to go back on to something that was more fun, like Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely, or Lord Forgive Me, Barry Manilow's Copacabana. I mean, those kind of songs make you smile. You go, what stupid song is that? And it just gives you some kind of a smile and a joy that you have to go outside of your world sometimes just to find that little bit of joy that makes you smile.
Yeah. I think it's such an important point that we have to seek out that music that's going to have that impact on us. And it's, as you're talking, it's making me think about my own adolescence and the songs I listen to. And I'm going to be honest with you, I am terrible at remembering both the names of songs and the artist. I will remember every word of the song and not even remember who wrote it, but that's one of my biggest problems in life. But I just, a song will come on and it will bring up a part of my history. It'll bring up memories. It'll take me back almost immediately to, being in a car, driving on a long car ride with a friend, or, a Christmas that I had in the past, or, just it brings up memories. And I think it has this ability to, if I can get maybe a little too heady, but music has this ability to both take us into the past and bring us into the future. Mm-hmm. In both things. It's just such a powerful medium that we have available to us.
And that's one of the reasons why we had a chance to create this special I'm working on called The Holiday Spirit. We were sitting in the midst of the pandemic, and we couldn't do anything in the studio because of we couldn't be around each other. So they were like, why don't you do a radio show of just Christmas music we could air? And I'm going, but what would we do? Is we going to just shoot the fireplace and play songs? And they were like, well, no, we can't do that because we can't afford to pay for the ASCAP BMI on those songs. So why don't you just sit in the radio studio and just introduce videos of Christmas performances that we shot years before? So I was like, so you want me to sit in the studio on camera and introduce videos of songs? And they were like, it'll be fantastic. I said, okay, well, we did that. I thought it was kind of quirky, but people liked it. It even won an award. I was like, what? That won an award? So it gave me the idea for the next show. They said, what are you going to do next year? I said, well, since we came back in the studio, let me do something that I have wanted to do all my life, but since a kid. I want to recreate the variety show. I want to recreate something where I come on and introduce the show, tell a few jokes, have a few skits, have some artists to come on and perform. And they didn't have any other ideas. So they were like, well, let them do it. We'll see if it works. So I said, let me do something that I enjoy. So I really, and like I said earlier, I really enjoyed 1951's Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim. It was Christmas. It was evil. It was Scrooge. It was just Scrooge. It was scary. It was at the end. It was joyful. It was fun. It was frightening. And I said, let me do something funny around that. So we did this show where it is they tell me I don't have any money, and the only song I can do is Scrooge because it is public domain, which means it's free. So we go ahead and try to cast for this show for Christmas Carol, and do all the casting, the funny jokes, and the people actually standing in front of us as an American Idol type judging panel.
Okay.
I end up falling asleep in the studio, and I'm visited by 3 ghosts. I'm not an actor. Most of the people, except one person, was an actor who did the skits, and it turned out really well. And then we have some wonderful music opening the show, middle of the show, and closing the show. So it is something that I hope when people see this show, it will bring people joy. It's called the Holiday Spirit Christmas Carol. So I'm hoping that people sense something out of it and go, it's stupid, it's a name, but it's just something that brought a smile to my face this season. It's something I can say, look at that. That's one thing was funny. But it just brought a smile to my face.
Oh, that's amazing. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but when can we watch this? Where will it be?
It's going to be on the channels within Office of Cable Television, which is DCN, DKN, and then our streaming service, DCE. And you can go to the OCTFME website and it'll have all the dates and times and the places.
Something that I loved growing up was watching variety shows, watching holiday specials, watching people engage in and the music in them and the skits and everything. I'm on board with the idea of the variety show and just having an opportunity to sit in a fun and engaging entertainment right around this holiday.
But let me tell you one thing. Now I'm outing myself now.
Okay.
I am a huge Cher fan.
Oh.
I love Cher.
Excellent.
And I would wait. I believe she came on Sundays. I'm not quite sure. I remember the days. I would sit in that chair and I would wait for her because she would always start. The stage would start in the back, and she'd be standing there in the dark with the light. Just one light on her. And then saying the first part of the song would be slow, and then they would change the tempo, and she would throw off whatever she had up on her, and it'd be something skimpy, of course, and the stage would move out forward, and she would sing that song, she would throw her hair, and she would tell her jokes, and then the musical artists would be like LaBelle, Gladys Knight and the Pips, or the Jackson 5, or the Spinners. I would just be so, Elton John, I'll be so just enjoy just seeing that, and that stuck with me all these years. Oh, and I kind of wondered, I said, where did Ed Sullivan, where did the Flip Wilson show go? Where did all these great variety shows go?
Yeah.
That used to bring everybody such joy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with that. I think that the things that we used to have, and I think we have some things like that nowadays. There are some positive holiday things that come out. But I think that traditionally we have had more of that, more positive, more just enjoyable, laughable, without kind of the snark. There's kind of a sarcastic to everything nowadays. Maybe a cynical. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. It's a little more cynical nowadays.
It's always cynical. But that's the joy in it.
There you go. No, but I think, it sounds like, this is making me wonder something about you. Do you play an instrument? Have you ever played an instrument?
Let me tell you the truth. When I was in high school, I played football in junior high for just a bit until one time they hit me. I was a running back, and they hit me. 3 guys hit me at one time on the same knee. That was so much pain that I experienced in my life. I was like, I'm never going to play football again. So I said, what's the next best thing to being close to football without doing football? So I joined the band.
Okay.
So I played in band, I played concert trumpet. And then in marching band, that's studio band, it's concert band. In marching band, I played tuba. But, I didn't like tuba because tuba was bulky, but the trumpet made me look so sexy out there.
There you go.
But once I graduated high school and I went to the University of Tennessee, that band was so huge and so scary. I was like, I'm not doing band. So then I always wanted to be like a piano player. I always wanted to learn piano. I never did. I would hear Elton John songs and Stevie Wonder songs, and I would just bang on, like I knew what keys I was hitting. I would bang on the coffee table and play the keys. So although I don't currently play an instrument, I wish I did, but I just play the music. I just play the music, and forever who wants to hear it and enjoy it, come get some of my little joy. Just a little bit of it if you can. I'll give a little bit. I won't give you everything.
Just a little. I am looking forward to it. I think that's so funny. You brought up piano. It made me remember that I took piano for about a minute, and I couldn't make myself practice. So I'm a little secret thing about me though, is that I love to sing. I sing constantly. I sing around my house. I sing in my car. I get caught singing by other people in the car. I think it is to me, both listening to the music and singing along with the music is something that it lifts my spirits. My whole body is just feeling better and de-stressed whenever I get a chance to sing.
And that is, again, that's an important thing to do. Especially when you're driving, because when I'm driving, I can be pushed to a tad of road rage. When I feel that road rage coming on, I go to the Sirius channel. I hit I might hit Frank Sinatra channel.
Mm-hmm.
That jazz brings me down, and Lord, don't let it be Christmas. I'll be all over the dial, hitting all the Christmas stations, because a lot of them go all Christmas all the time.
Yeah,
going back and forth, hitting the dials for Christmas music, so I can just envelop myself all season long for Christmas music. I mean, we started Christmas music in September, I'm sorry. And I say that because as a host of a radio show, I make sure every year that I feature one show with all new Christmas music. And Christmas music starts being released in around the end of September. And I start buying the albums and the songs on iTunes and, Amazon then. I'm already got 4 or 5 Christmas albums already for this year. And so just to enjoy them and find out which ones I'm going to play for my show. So when Christmas comes, I'm so Christmas up that this is the bad thing about Christmas. I just enjoy the season. But on the 27th, done. On the 27th, done. I want that tree down as soon as we can get it down. I don't want to see another Christmas special. I don't want to see, but when it starts in September, it's like, woo, Christmas. But, it's the season. It's the season of that for me. I love that.
Yeah. I think it does remind me, though, as you say that, kind of after the holidays, there can be, and you didn't say this about you, but there can be a letdown or it's over. And it can feel harder after the holiday is over because of all of the kind of enjoyment, and I think too the pressure that we put on ourselves to make it enjoyable. It also can lead to a release after it's all over. And I think it is important to consider that for some people, they have a challenge with holiday season for a lot of reasons. Things like, maybe they really want to spend it with their family and they don't have that opportunity, or, maybe their family isn't someone they want to spend time with, and they have a hard time finding people to engage in the holidays with. And so I think it is kind of challenging for some people. And I wonder if you have any tips for people who are kind of maybe dreading. We've kind of talked a lot about music and joy, but do you have any tips for them?
One thing I would say about this, and in this world today, it's kind of hard to find good long-term friends, because everybody's so spread out in different ways and have different ideas and values and political leanings and all this stuff. You have to really, sometimes if you can't, you have to make family. I'll put it this way. So you have to find somebody who you can connect with on just a conversational level. You don't want to burden them with your problems and stuff, but there are people you can just talk to, and you don't have to throw all your problems on them and make their world hard. But just somebody who can just share a nice word with, or people around me. Some people who don't like Christmas, who don't like the Christmas music, but that doesn't stop me. I bombard them with it. I will give them a CD, a mix CD mix. I'll play it in my office. I'll play it in my car. I just want you, if I can give you a little bit, sometimes just a 20 minutes, 10 minutes of some joy that can help you through some of the things you're going through. Give yourself a gift. Give yourself time. Get off social media. Get off, get away from the friends who are so negative about stuff. Just take some time. And if, find me, I will get you all Christmas up. So you gotta just find something. I know people they get so married in what their shortcomings are and what they're faced with, but you've got to find just that slice of time for just some joy, some holiday joy, just something. Quiet times, lights off in the house, twinkling lights on the tree, something.
I like that. I'm kind of sitting in that for a minute. It is Christmas. I think too, the only thing I would add is that I think that sometimes we can have we see things through a certain lens, right? As we go through life, things happen to us and we have experiences around holidays that start us prepping beforehand to expect something bad, right? We have like this view of what's coming that actually makes that happen, right? If we think it's going to be bad, it does. And I think to your point about noticing small things, if we can recognize that this holiday season is different. It's different than any holiday season that ever came before it. It is not the same. It's new. It's a new opportunity. And we can step outside of the feelings that we've had in the past of negativity and pain and maybe even rejection and hurt and say, you know what? I'm going to pay attention to the good things instead of, I hear everyone on the news is always like, oh, they're bringing out the Christmas trees too early. We're already having, holiday stuff and it's not even Thanksgiving. And I say, why not?
Why not?
Start early, notice the trees, and don't be humbug about it. To our earlier Christmas carol, don't be like, oh, why is there Christmas trees out already? Go, Christmas trees. They're here. It's a reason to be joyful.
It is. I think people do that because they are so, whatever I got to buy the family, what I got to buy my wife, whatever I got to buy this. Right. They put the challenges on what they have to do for somebody. What they have to give to people or something like that. Sometimes it's just given to yourself. I mean, this will be a great Christmas for me because this will be the first Christmas that I will be a married man. We've been together for 21 years.
Wow, congratulations.
To get married. And I am so waiting to enjoy that Christmas Eve where we cook. 8 o'clock we watch, I watch. He'll walk by and look at the TV. I'll watch Wonderful Life on NBC. And then when I'm cooking, we'll watch a little bit of, and like we always at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, I put on the 1951 A Christmas Carol. And then the next morning, we're watching the marathon of A Christmas Story. That's my joy this year, is to see that as a married man.
Yeah.
That's going to be such excitement for us. And I'm really, I can't wait. I'm going to enjoy that moment immensely.
Oh, that's so wonderful. That's a beautiful lens to have. It's a new layer to your lens on Christmas. A happy one. That's amazing. And it's making me think too of, I have a kind of a tradition with some of my siblings of watching Christmas movies right up until Christmas Day but some of the more modern ones too, like Elf. I love Elf.
Elf is funny.
Laugh so hard. And National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yes. That one is also really funny.
There's also, what did I watch last year? It was something new, and I can't remember what it is right now. I know we've been recently watching Walt Disney's animated version of A Christmas Carol with Jim Carroll. And that is visually amazing. What they have done with that animation is visually amazing. And I'm that's one I didn't really care about at first, but my partner kept saying, no, watch it. Really watch what they're doing. Watch what they're doing. And it was like, now I'm like, and all of it. So, but and all the Christmas love stories on Lifetime and Channel. I mean, sometimes I watch some of them. They're really mushy.
They are.
I'll watch a couple of them.
You watch them. Well, I think just maybe in kind of summing up some of the stuff we've been talking about, it seems like just having an opportunity for people to think about changing their mindset about Christmas, shifting from, a functioning idea to an enjoying idea. I've often talked to people in my life and in my practice about the difference between I need to and I want to. And to be able to say, I want to do holiday things, I want to enjoy this season, that frees us to kind of engage in it in a happier way. And I think there's so many benefits to happiness and joy and allowing ourselves to enjoy seasons like Christmas and this entire holiday season. There's pain relief and reduction in getting sick. People who are able to enjoy the holiday season find that they are less sick, less often. Yeah. Your elevated mood helps release endorphins in your brain, which helps you be more positive and hopeful, which gives you more energy. So I think there's so many benefits to reaching out for and embracing this idea of joy, and then sitting in moments of happiness and taking them in. It's something actually that I've talked about before on some of these community conversations about the fact that our brain is kind of like its default setting is to look at negative things to protect us, right? It's always looking for negative things, and it doesn't remember the positive ones as easily. We have to make an effort. You have to actually try to remember the positive things. And so I think if we keep that in mind and we try to remember positive, hopeful ideas, we can have as joyful a holiday season as we want.
At least for one day.
At least for one day.
Just one day. I mean, give them one day. 365 days a year, give us one day. You'll make us smile.
Awesome. Well, John, I just want to say thank you so much, first of all, for doing this with me today. I think it's been so fun just talking to you about joy and hearing about music. And I am definitely going to hit you up for a playlist of some kind.
Oh, I got you. I
need a good playlist.
I got plenty of them. I got about 45 of them.
I'm excited in my life that I have found someone who can make me playlists.
Yes, I can.
But I'm wondering if you could just share with everyone a little bit about how they could get in contact with you, media, social media, anything like that.
Well, I'm on Facebook as John Avery, and I often post every weekend, like around Thursday or Friday, the radio show, what the subject is going to be, and who the artists are. So you can catch me on that, and I'll be promoting Raiding the Crates. You can go back catch us on DC Radio. I'm also on Instagram, which I don't really keep up with Instagram.
Okay.
I'm an old man. I'm 63. So Facebook is about as much as I can do. But my partner put me on Instagram at John Crate Rating Avery on Instagram. And just because I said that now, I will go back this weekend and sweeten that spot up so people can catch me there. But I'm usually on Facebook.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for just doing this with me today and having this conversation. I think I wasn't getting excited about the holiday season until this conversation. And now I think I'm going to go home and I'm going to put up my tree and I'm going to put on some Christmas music and I'm going to start letting in the joy of this season as we move forward. So thank you so much.
Let it in. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to you. I was very scared to do this, but once we started talking, it just, we talk about music. I'm just like, whoa, it's music. And I really enjoyed myself. I hope it helped somebody too.
Absolutely. I hope so too. Well, thank you for watching this Care for Creatives community conversation. To learn more about the Creative Affairs Office and Care for Creatives, visit creativeaffairsdc.com. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you to Dr. Mary and John for participating in our Care for Creatives community conversation. And thanks to all of you for watching. Visit creativeaffairsdc.com to stay up to date on all things Care for Creatives. In closing, here are a few helpful takeaways. The Care for Creatives program, Pay What You Can counseling services, Learn more at creativeaffairsdc.com. And remember, slow down and enjoy the season. Listen to your favorite music. Take a social media break. Cultivate chosen family. And create new traditions. Until next time, have a great day.